efficient communication when you can reach out to people in minimum possible words. We have already discussed the aspect of crispness, isn't it? And second thing which I find in this expression is, we have to use moderate language. This language is slightly, a bit too worked up. Maybe the person may have had some bad experiences, but there is no need to get bitter about those experiences. All experiences are only, even bad experiences are only learning opportunities. In fact, we learn more from our bad experiences. So if we take it in that spirit, I think that would be a far more balanced expression. इसमें थोड़ा सा एंग्री यंग मैन वाला वो आ रहा, जो अमिताभ बच्चन आए और सबको उन्होंने मार गिराया क्योंकि बड़ा उनके साथ जुल्म हुआ था वाला. So get out of this. This is what my personal feeling is. So for us, can we move to the next slide? There is one more thing which I feel is very important, and we have been discussing this point, is looking at things from other person's perspective, and we call it consideration. What is a consideration? Where the communication is actually not for you, is it? It is for other person. So communication is not what we say. Communication is what others receive. So we are communicating not for ourselves, we are communicating for someone else, and looking at that person's reality or facilitating him that he gets our communication the way we want it to get. The double negative also has that problem. We are unnecessarily making a statement in a roundabout manner. I hate liars. I can say I like honest people. I like people who are truthful. That's a far more direct expression. Likewise, using such expressions which or such acronyms which may not be in the common knowledge of the other person. For example, if I say I scored 1500 rank in GIT examination, now I don't know what is GIT examination. The person makes a presumption that I should know what is GIT. It is not his problem to let you know that. And this consideration is reflected in many things, not just in use of acronyms. Even the handwriting, sometimes when I was reading the write-ups, I was literally making a very hard attempt to understand some of the words, the way they were written. So when we were getting trained for writing essays in civil services examination, one of the senior professor of AMU, who had been the examiner on number of occasions, he made this point. The examiner is not obliged to read everything you write. It is your job to make an effort to, attract him towards your writing. But sometimes we are too presumptuous. Even this crossing the word limit of 400 words, up to 400 words, what does it indicate? Does it indicate consideration? If I have to read a write-up which is supposed to last within 250 words and it goes on and on, do you think I will be very, very happy with that kind of situation? कि क्या लंबी कहानी लिखी है माशाल्लाह. So what does that mean? We have to have consideration, isn't it? Consideration to the other person. Then one more C, yes, Dr. Parag. Clarity. I think in communication, it's a very important thing to have clarity. My communication should reach out to the other person exactly the way I have in mind. So the clarity starts with our own ideas. That is why, when we were briefing on who am you might have read that note. It says that intrapersonal communication is the starting point of interpersonal communication. We need to have a clarity of idea within, and then it oozes out in our expressions also. For example, I was reading this in one of the write-up. I want to become a professor, and my other aim is to do a job in MNC. Now, to me, this sounded a bit. To me, it was confusing. What exactly is the career plan? Because to me, these two options appear apparently mutually exclusive options. Unless the person says that I want to work initially for some years, maybe acquire some corporate experience, and afterwards, I want to get into academics, then it would make a logical sense to me. Otherwise, the way it has been put, I want to become a professor, and my other aim is to do a job in MNC. This is, to me, not a clear communication. Yes, Faraz, next, please. Now I'll talk about a few aspects of personality which I could note from some of the write-ups which I've read. I've not yet read your full write-up, so maybe some more ideas would start pouring in. But these were some of the ideas which I could pick. Like, for example, one of a very important characteristic, attitudinal characteristic, is this compassion, kindness towards the other fellow beings. So, like, for example, somebody has this passion for feeding the poor, or even such trivial things, helping the maid in the house. It indicates again that consideration which I talked about earlier. You are considerate about your fellow beings. Now, the second characteristic which I would talk about in the category of positive mental attitude is this excellence orientation. That is giving 100% to a task which we are set out to do. One of my professor used to make this a statement: if something is worth doing, it is worth doing well. Do we demonstrate that orientation? It is reflected in many things. For example, I was reading a write-up in the morning today. It was it appeared to be a piece of art because of the beautiful handwriting in which it was written. It was simply, beautiful. Let me show you this. If you can see this. So neatly balanced handwriting. Now the person must have, consciously worked for it. So that's, to me, is one of the important considerations. Then an opposite of it is चलता है एटीट्यूड. मैं 400 वर्ड्स में लिख दूं तब भी चलता है, मैं 100 में लिख दूं तो भी चलता है. अरे इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Isn't it? So I think I could not find a English expression for this chalta hai attitude. Parag, can you help me on this, or somebody else can help me? What is this chalta hai attitude? Which is the opposite of this excellence orientation.
Maybe casual attitude.
Casual.
But it's still like.
So taking it for granted.
Taking other person for granted, yes, that is one of the aspects of it.
Sir, I would like to say something here.
Yes.
If you could please give me permission for that. So actually, the surname Faraz was written by Fazaz, wrongly by me. Sir, actually, I didn't notice the correct name of him. I just saw what I the schedule, and I just wrote it. And after I find it that word that I have misplaced the letters, I immediately correct it in the night. Immediately after seeing the message of sir in the about 8 p.m. I corrected it and again made the PDF and sent it again. It was completely unintentional.
I know.
from my
Often
side.
these things which we do are not intended. But my only point is that, as they say, devil is always in detail. And once you start working, you will realize its importance. If if there is a senior of you and you don't know the correct spelling of that person's name, and you send a message to him, wrongly spelling his name, he may not say it, but he will not feel good about it. That you have not even cared to check the spelling of his name. Name of a person is the most intimate part of his personality, or her personality.
Yes, I completely agree.
So I think Chalta Hai attitude is the opposite of this excellence orientation I was talking about. A few more illustrations for us we have.
Thank you, sir. I'll keep that in mind.
Not following the instructions. For example, it was very clear in the write-up that you are supposed to write it in longhand, in your own handwriting. But even then, I found a write-up which was typed. Now again, that means the person has this orientation of not even reading the instructions. And it was not a long instruction, even not even a half-page instruction. So I think this, if we become more conscious of all these things, as I was saying, the devil is always in detail. Now, yes, another attitude, positive attitude is a person who gains himself, or who engages himself or herself in something gainful, which enriches the personality, makes good use of the time that we have at our disposal. For example, I noted this that there is a person who is giving tuitions, and he has been giving these tuitions for quite some time to class in 11th and 12th. As they say, that to teach is to learn twice. If we give tuitions, it may be adding to the financial security. You may be less dependent on others for your financial needs, and it's a very gainful activity because we learn through this. Or somebody is very active in sports and co-curricular activities, and to such an extent that the person has represented in nationals in taekwondo. Or somebody loves music and listens to all type of genres, and the person likes classic rock. Now, as opposed to that, what about this? My hobby is playing video games. Can playing video games be called a hobby? What is the take of class on this? I'm waiting for your response.
Yes, sir, it can be called a hobby because you are sparing you are spending your spare time in playing video games.
Is there a difference between pastime and a hobby?
So playing video game is more of a interest rather than being a hobby.
So now we have three things: a pastime and an interest and a hobby. All these indicates depth of involvement. Hobby being the most intense passion that we pursue, isn't it? So, like for example, this fellow who writes, "I love music. I listen to all types of genres, but classic rock is my favorite genre." This indicates the depth of involvement of the person. Or somebody who is into sports and represented played at the national level. Now that indicates, now this can be called a hobby. So hobby is something in which we have depth of involvement, which truly enriches our personality in some way. Otherwise, I would
Sir, is
call
it?
it, yes.
Please complete. Yes, sir. I was asking, is it necessary to involve in constructive activities? So that's then only it will be called a hobby.
What do you think?
Sir, I think anything you do for pleasure in your spare time can be called a hobby.
And when you do it, do you come out empty or do you come out enriched?
So that's a different thing. By this, by constructive activities, we come out enriching.
Enriched. So that is my point. We may say okay, my hobby is watching TV, and there are many of us who indulge in endless switching of channels, and they may waste their 3 hours, 4 hours, but do they come out enriched after that? My take on this is, again, you may have your own opinion, that one, you should have the depth. It should be a sustained thing. Somebody who is playing taekwondo and has represented nationals indicates that fellow has pursued that hobby for a sufficiently long period of time. Then only you can reach up to national. It cannot be a one-off effort where you do it and then forget about it and then take up something else because you have some spare time and you want to fill that time with something. Not like that. A positive person is one who takes charge of his life. Every movement of his is measured, is calculated, is towards a purpose.
Yes, sir, but
Yes, sir.
I have some little thoughts on it. Actually, the thing you are telling that are traditional way of thinking, but I think in this scenario, like someone is playing or spending his more time on playing video games, he might be doing a streaming or it could be his hobby, as it could be his career also, as so many people are earning through video streaming. That is,
So that is what I want to understand, that what is the depth of involvement? If it is a career move, how it is a career move? I was once interviewing a candidate and he was preparing. In fact, he had qualified civil services mains exam and he was going to and he was going to face the interview. And before that, you are supposed to write a brief of yourself in a structured column which is provided to you, which is before the interview panel when you face the interview finally. So there is a column of hobbies in that, and this fellow has written in the hobby playing a snake and ladders. So I was a bit quizzed and I asked, is it not too pedestrian for an IAS aspirant to write a snake?
Is sir audible to everyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
There's some problem with this network. Anyway, he must be trying to get back.
The connection got broken. Anyway, so I was talking about this example which I experienced. So again, my concern is if you just write my hobby is playing video games, it would not communicate that depth of involvement. And you have a point. I may not be fully aware of all kind of career options, including video streaming as one of the career options. That's fine. But your communicate you often when we counsel our PhD students, we say when your PhD goes to the examiner, you are not attached with the PhD. So when you write something, it should be a complete communication. So personally, I did not get that sense, that depth of involvement by this statement. My hobby is playing video games. Next,
Sir, I have a question on this. Does it really need to be constructive? Like, if we talk about hobby, I mean, it depends on perspective. In what way we thinking or we
I
understand?
think I've already. There is no point in harping on a point which has already been explained. We can have a different take on it. My simple point was that even snake and ladders can be defended as a hobby.
Yes, sir.
Point is, what is the logic?
Okay.
If I get a communication which is incomplete or which I find too pedestrian, I will view it like that.
Okay, sir.
Simple. That's my point.
Video game can be a very good hobby if you like give the logic that like say for example you play with people and there is a strategy like many people do it like PUBG and all, and you for example you can just explain it a bit like how it helps you become better in any way, like what the snake and ladder example is, that it helps you to remind oneself that okay, you can get bitten by a snake any time in your life with absolutely no fault of yours. Okay, so life is like this. It reminds you of the ups and downs of the life. So that can be like you can think about. But obviously there will be a question. Okay, you say video games, but what about what is that it is helping you with, or it's logically connected? I think that's the point.
So now, coming to one of the aspects which I noted in the write-up, that is on weakness, isn't it? And many of you have described your weaknesses, and a number of weaknesses I could locate, which were mentioned, and I will share some of them with you. Faraz, can we go ahead and share the list of weaknesses that some of you have pointed out? Like somebody says, overthinking and becoming too anxious about things is one of the weakness. Then I could find two contrast. One says I trust people easily, and the other says I find it hard to trust people. So, and the person makes a slightly boastful statement. My instinct about people is always right. People tend to mask their true intentions, but I see through them. बिल्कुल एक्सरे लगा रखा है इन्होंने and is able to see the intentions, see through the intentions. I think this I've already shared. I dislike dishonest people. My biggest fear is not achieving whatever I want to accomplish in life. Now, what do you think? Perfectionist, I'm too particular about finishing my work in time. Then somebody says that somebody is not introvert. I really make first approach to talk to strangers. And the person uses a rather creative expression for this. I am the lone wolf in the social setting, unless the pack decides to accompany me. Very, very, creative expression. I hate conforming to social norms. I don't go around breaking the rules for the sake of it. However, I can't be coerced to do something. I love thinking for myself and making my own decisions. The mob mentality is not for me. Can we go back to the previous slide, Faraz, and talk about that trust part first? I trust people easily, find it hard to trust. Both extremes I could find. So should we trust people or should we distrust people? What should be our starting point of relationship build?
So first we should get to know them properly, then only we should trust them.
First, we should be neutral about it.
How do we win other person's trust?
We can start by trusting them.
The starting point has to be trusting them or distrusting them first, unless otherwise.
Then not to trust or distrust.
Huh?
So by being neutral and then decide which we want to choose, whether we want to trust or not.
What is the right kind of attitude to carry? Because this plays a very important role in relationships. Actually, it is the bedrock of all relationships, trust. And only trust begets trust. That's a foregone conclusion. Yes or no?
Sir, we may trust people, but without being dependent on them.
Okay.
That's the first thing we can do. Then we can, after some time, with interaction and all those things, we can trust them with being dependent on them.
So the starting point, I'm repeating my query. The starting point should be trust or distrust.
Sir, obviously,
should be trust.
yes, sir. Obviously, it's trust.
Obviously trust, isn't it? Because unless the initiative is from our side, and as I said, it's trust. So we have to start with trust. In fact, I read this beautiful statement. It said, distrust. Hard to trust people. The person has to do some hard thinking on this. Because then I have my doubts whether the person can actually get into a truly enriching social relationship ever. भाई लॉ भी जो मुल्क का होता है वो हर आदमी को इनोसेंट मानता है टिल प्रूव्ड अदरवाइज. तो So why not, begin with trust? And to me, I think this is a bit of a boastful statement. People tend to mask their intentions, but I see through them all.
It's milder expression like I'm conscious of things or conscious of intention of people.
My overall point is balanced expression. इनमें यहाँ कोई ड्रामा नहीं हो रहा. You are describing your personality. तो ड्रामा में तो कभी कभी हम चीजों को ओवरस्टेट करते हैं क्योंकि ड्रामेटाइज करना ही मकसद होता है. लेकिन मैं तो जितना जानता हूँ, हो सकता है अभी फराज ने ये बात और आप लोग इससे एग्री करें या ना करें, लेकिन आज तक तो कोई ऐसी एक्सरे मशीन नहीं है जिससे आप आदमी के ट्रू इंटेंशंस को जज कर लें. एंड पीपल चेंज एक्चुअली. I read this quote from George Bernard Shaw, who said, the only person who behaves sensibly with me is my tailor. He takes fresh measurements every time he meets me. Rest go with their old measurements. So, if we make a judgment about a person based on our limited interaction with him, and we go by that judgment can be wrong or may not be correct. Fully correct. Okay. Let me put it even more milder. So, निदा फासली का एक शेर है ना कि हर आदमी में होते हैं 10-20 आदमी, जिसको भी देखना हो कई बार देखना. So people change, people mature, people worsen also with passage of time based on their own experiences. Sometimes there is a temptation to become negative. One poet wrote this, तन की मिट्टी में होगा जहर का पौधा. We do develop, maybe temporarily, negativity around. So, but the final point is start with trust. And then you are likely to earn the trust of others. So, do we have time now for us?
We are almost through 10:30.
Almost. So make it up tomorrow because this requires a bit more elaborations.